welcome to the veritable edge of Western civilization, yet again. We're not in Venice today, but I still feel like I live at the veritable edge of Western civilization, so we're going with that. Let's check the sound volume. Excellent. So I have a couple things I want to share with the world today, and this technology might be useful in that. And while I'm doing that, I figured today would be a good day to trim the beard. Right? So I'm in the Sierras between Miracle and Remington Hot Springs. Remington Hot Springs is pretty much straight down this hill, and Miracle is about 1.5 miles upriver. One of my most favorite places in the world, on the planet. I came here to soak, but it's a weekend, and weekends here are all families from Bakersfield and parts thereof, and the whole family and all the kids and the grandma and the whatnot, and they all just have a grand old time down there. Not the best time for Naked David to be out there. So what do we got here? Let's see. Well, I had I gave up my apartment yesterday. My agreement was for a month, and that covered my first 2 infusions. And I drove out here last night after the car broke down the van broke down when I stopped for gas in Bakersfield. Coolant hose split, and of course it was after hours for mechanics and whatnot, and they wouldn't have, the auto parts store said they wouldn't have the part until Tuesday. So I flipped into my alter ego, who is got some MacGyver genes going on there. I think I'm my father or my mother when I get all MacGyverish. My father was an engineer. My mother could fix a television with kitchen utensils, which I helped her with on more than one occasion. So I'm still here, 63 years old. I'm still impressed by that. I don't know too many other people that can do that, never mind man or woman, So with a fork and knife, to go at a television and get it running again. It's amazing. So anyway, I had to get under there, and I've got all these I burned myself, on the engine because it wasn't cool yet. I burned myself again. I got all these cuts and everything, but I was able to jury rig a workaround. I just got a 3-foot piece of hose and got it to connect up after much whining and the like. So anyway, that took about 4 hours, and it's definitely one of those situations where there is no one that can save your ass. And You know, I mean, there would be another person. If I could find another mechanic, they would have to do the exact same thing that I would do, which is to connect the friggin' hose, you know? Um, so it was a situation where money wouldn't have been you know, if I had a ton of money, it wouldn't have made any difference because the part was only $10, you know? And as it, you know, the part that was supposed to go on there, and the part that I jury rigged only cost $5. So, um, no, it was a matter of one of those situations where you're entirely, it's all up to you, buddy. You know, you either, whatever you do or don't do, you're going to reap the benefits of. I was in a situation like that. I was reminded of the situation I was in a couple of years ago with the Volkswagen bus. I actually closed the sliding door on my hand, and there was nobody around. Broad daylight, middle of the afternoon in Venice Beach, but there was absolutely nobody on the street. And you know, obviously every second was agony. So I had to, you know, accept the fact that there was not going to be somebody rushing up to open the door for me. I had to do whatever I could to get out of that situation. And frankly, I can't tell you which hand it was right now. So, but when stuff like that happens, I have to ask. You know, it's like, okay, universe, like I was last night. I was like, you know, burning my arm and stuff. Like, what the fuck? You know, what's that all about? You know, why is that necessary? Why is this necessary? You know, is it the feeling of accomplishment after all the bullshit is over? Is that what we're going for? Is that, I don't know. It seems that if what I need is the attaboy, the self-congratulation of getting myself into and out of a fix, I don't know, that seems kind of lame. You know, it seems like I could probably do better than that. A better use of my time, for sure. So, I don't know. I don't know about that. But I have a story, right? There's another story. About that time I broke down in Bakersfield at the gas station. And the attendant said, "Hey, you're Lincoln coolant." I'm like, oh shit, there's coolant. There's green stuff all over the ground. Well, that's not good. That can't be good, right? So, anyway, I was thinking I was, you know, starting to look like, what's his name? That guy, Ernest Hemingway. I was getting that Ernest Hemingway beard, you know? Oh my goodness. Here we go. So I have this this thing that just came to me. I walked down to the Miracle Hot Springs to see if I could get in, and forget about it. There's just too many people. I mean, even if it wasn't a COVID situation, I wouldn't get in. I wouldn't even go near there. There's just too many people. And even if I wasn't immunocompromised, all this shit. So there's this huge rock just before the pools, right on the edge of it, like overlooking the water. And I sat down on it instead of going right back to my car and getting the heck out. I just sat down on it because it was my second attempt today to get into the pools, and because it had sprinkled a little bit, and I figured, well, maybe all those people wouldn't be hanging out there if they, if it's raining a little bit. But nope, they've come a long way. They're going to get their penny. So I'm sitting on the rock, and right there in front of me is a rapid. There's some submerged rocks, and the river is coming over it and around it and everything, and it looked like the surface of the water looked like liquid rock. But it was constantly changing. It was really beautiful, and I got very, very conscious of the fact that I was being very conscious at that moment, even though I was witnessing myself being in a trance, entranced by the movement of the water. And I realized it's the same thing that happens with fire. And then I started to think, well, water, fire, obviously, there's the five elements, right? Or what are the four elements plus spirit, right? Earth, air, fire, and water. And that got me thinking about this piece of information that I've shared it before, and I think it's important for people to be aware of. From my personal experience, hello. The idea that it was told to me by a person I didn't even know, and if I saw them right now, I wouldn't even recognize that was the person that told me this. Evangelism. Evangelist. I'm evangelist, right? I'm evangelizing. I love that. So, just out of the blue, this person told me this story about how somebody had told them this story, and they found it very useful when they attended their father's passing. And somebody told them that a person, when they're dying of natural causes, when they're dying naturally, they decline in the order of the four elements. And she told me what they were, but I didn't remember what the order was. She said, but when my mother passed, I attended her, for the last 2 weeks of her life, and I witnessed the order of the elements, and the order that I witnessed was earth, water, air, and fire, and spirit, of course, at the end. And how that works is when you first you stop pooping, then you stop peeing, then your breath becomes labored. That's that death rattle that people talk about. And each one of these periods that's governed by the specific element, they overlap, but they're longer, right? So the first one, the stopping the pooping, that takes a long time to get to that place, right? And then it probably took her about a week and a half of before she stopped peeing. And then just like the day before, she stopped peeing, the death rattle started. Her breath became labored, and you could hear this rattle thing going with their inhale and exhale. Then the last one is fire, and that's when her heart stopped. And so you see how the earth took a long time. The water one took not as long, but a long time, a week and a half. The air one took maybe a day and a half, maybe little over maybe 2 days. And the fire just was almost instantaneous. It only took a couple of minutes for that to, less than a couple of minutes for that to eventuate, right? And then her spirit went, and we watched her go. It was amazing, one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life. As is spirit, right? So when I was down on the rock there, I was thinking about how, so I was inspired to trance by the water. I'm inspired to trance by if I watch fire, right? If we watch when we watch fire, a candle or fireplace or whatever, we're designed, we're hardwired to go into trance, right? So that got me thinking that there's got to be trances that are inspired by the other elements, right? And I thought about earth. What's the earth? Okay, but so if you or I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, if I lie down, with my back on the earth, and I close my eyes and I try to connect with the earth itself and feel the vibration of the earth, I'm going to go into trance. One way or the other. Either I'm going to fall asleep, or I'm going to begin to feel and think. I'm going to feel different things. I'm going to start to think of different things that don't have anything to do with where I am or what I'm doing, and that's the product of trance, right? And then I was thinking, okay, so what's the air trance? And I was thinking that it's like watching a storm, right? We're watching the clouds. If we stare at the friggin' clouds, or stare at the sky, we just stare at nothing, right? Like I had this picture last night of if you had like 100 people just sitting in a room with nothing in the room, absolutely nothing but chairs and people, looking straight ahead, not looking at one another or anything like that. It's looking straight ahead, and their goal is to not think of anything. That's not going to happen. They're going to go into trance. It's how we are made. We're designed for this stuff, right? There we go. And right, I mean that all of these windows to trance, opportunities to trance that come through the elements, are accessible to everybody, to every person on the planet. And I realized that was, when I was down on the rock, I realized that was what I loved about, if I look back on my life and I connected the dots of all the times that I chose to be inebriated, either through alcohol or recreational drugs. It was always the bottom line. I mean, the unifying factor between all those things is this love that I have for trance, for being in trance. I love to daydream. When I was a kid, I was that kid that was staring out the window, that got in trouble for staring out the window, right? And in the future, I really hope that we stop bothering kids that are staring out the window and encourage children to stare out the fucking window, because that's how you learn what you need to know most, is through trance. When you're in that kind of trance, you're in communion with the universe. What else do we want of people than to be in communion with the source of the universe? And that's how we do it. It's that simple, right? Yep, just figuring it all out right here. I'm glad we got it all figured out. Okay, now we can start. Okay, somebody want to hit the button? Hit the button. We're starting now. We're gonna start the universe now, because David figured shit out. Alright? Oh, I have no shortage of arrogance. They tell me, whoever they are. You get to watch me make the weird faces. The faces you only make when you're shaving or trimming. You know, I think that if somebody is talking, and unless we're trying to get, specific information from them about, like, if we've asked them for directions or something like that, we kind of determine whether or not this is worth our while according to if it's entrancing, if what they're saying is entrancing, you know. Look at myself here, I'm like, I don't know, I don't like that look. It looks like mutton chops. Not a real fan of mutton chops. Don't stop, David. Keep cutting. Wow, this feels really good. You're free! 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 You know what I'm saying? Wow! It looks different. So my next infusion is the 28th. That's 11 days. And I'm going to stay here till I get my enough soaking in. But then I want to, if there's enough time, I want to go up to Big Sur and Monterey Bay to fly. But it all depends on what my energy level's like. One thing I didn't calculate for. Last night was my first night in the van, back in the van after a month. It was wonderful. That was a big one. I didn't calculate. I totally forgot about the altitude thing and fatigue. It doesn't usually affect me very much, but I was already fatigued, and moving around today has been a reminder, a humbling reminder of, oh yeah, David, you're on cancer treatment. You know, this is not just your regular trip to the mountains. Nope. And then you know, one of the side effects of this thing that I haven't really had much, haven't had to worry about it too much because I had the apartment. But they say either you can be constipated or you can have diarrhea. Great, huh? They just give you a list of all these things that are possible, and it's like pick your poison, pick your unpleasantness, and so the reason why I'm parked here is because about 150 yards that way there's a porta potty. Because I've been pooping a lot today, so there's that. You needed to know that, right? I mean, yes, daydreaming, yes. I am a daydreamer. I'm actually, it's on my one of my profiles. It might be here on Instagram, that I'm a professional daydreamer. I realized a couple of years ago that I get paid according to what I dream up. You know, people pay me for the stuff that comes to me when I'm daydreaming. You know? So, the more daydreaming, the better, which is just how I like it. You know what? I thought of this. I had this idea last week. The idea of daydreaming clubs. Like, imagine a storefront with like just, you know, like a couch and a couple of lounges and you know, all sorts of psychedelic images and stuff around, and just a place where people can come and daydream. Everything that's conducive to daydreaming. You know, you can, or trancing, you know, if you want to sit there and smoke your pot or whatever it is. And the idea is to daydream, and if you want to share your daydreams with other people and see, you know, build together, build on daydreaming, build on our visions, you know. Yes. I'm glad I look great, because somebody asked me, how you doing today? And I was like, man, I always wanted to say this. I get the line. I was like, I feel like I've been ridden hard and put away wet. It's corny. I know. I'm corny. I'm a goofball, and I like it. I'd rather be goofy than not. All right. I already feel better. hmm This was me about a month and a half ago. You know, I don't know if you could scroll back a year on Instagram, you'll see you'll see that there is a photograph of my leg with um, a rattlesnake moving away from me, about, I don't know, a couple feet away, and that rattlesnake had just crossed my leg, gone across my leg. And at the time, I was recovering from the chemo and radiation, thinking that I was, you know, I was close to it, done, cured, all that. And then, here we are a year later, and um, I'm in it again. Yeah. I went into town for some antifreeze, just a spare thing of antifreeze in case something happens, because of last night. And I, the guy behind the counter, they were talking about their wives and whatnot, and everything. And I stepped up, and the guy says, how you doing today? And I said, it's great to be alive. Which, you know, it's good to be standing here. It's good to be able to that's what I meant. It was good to be able to stand there and have a conversation with these people. Because I mean, even a week ago, 2 weeks ago, that wasn't really possible. I wouldn't have been able to stand there for very long. I wouldn't have been able to put myself there, and it would have been very painful to move. And last year when I was fetal in the bed, I was thinking about all those people that this is their life. This is, they're like my grandmother. She survived cancer for 38 years. She was in and out of the hospital all the time. And our world revolved around her bed because she was always in it. It was very rare to see her up out of the bed, walking around the house, working in the kitchen or whatever. She had colon cancer. She was the third successful colostomy. She was diagnosed, I think, in 1955, a month after my parents were married. And at that time, colon cancer was a death sentence, a very painful death sentence. And she's medical history, and she used to lecture to medical schools. Another reason to be proud of my ancestors. Okay, that's a big one. All right, I think we're done for now. Close enough. Close enough for government work. I think I've said everything I want to say, and now it's back to the trance. All right. Whoa. Oh man, I can't wait to get in that hot tub, hot spring. The Achies. The Achies. Whoa. All right. Thanks for watching. Oh, Tamangina. Sorry for butchering your name. Alrighty. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for giving me the time of day. And remember, we love you.